I never thought I would find myself spending a night alone in my grandmother's old house in Picardy. I'm 27, living in Paris, and while my parents are still in the city, my last grandmother lived in a small, quite isolated home, miles away from anything. She passed recently, and now it had to be cleared and sold. Because the house is so far out and creepy at night, it was decided someone should stay there overnight, just so nothing got stolen or damaged before the movers came the next morning. No one else wanted to do it, so I volunteered, though I always found that house unsettling. I arrived late after a grueling day at work. The trip was long, and I wanted to have some dinner, so I stopped at a tiny village bistro nearby. By the time I pulled up to the house, I was exhausted. The front door creaked when I opened it, revealing the dim interior drenched in shadows cast by the flickering candlelight left from the previous visit. The furniture was almost entirely the same as when Grandma was still alive. Old oak cabinets, floral upholstery on the worn armchairs, faded curtains with lace trimming, and carpets that had clearly seen decades of footsteps. Peering through the grimy window panes, I spotted the dense silhouettes of trees looming outside, with only a thin slice of moonlight lending eerie shapes to the backyard. The air felt heavy, thick with memories and something unspoken, and I realized the atmosphere was even more oppressive now that she was gone. After putting my bag down, I headed to the guest room to rest. It was the first time I'd slept there since I was a child. I had always refused before because of nightmares that haunted me after any stay. The bed was an old-fashioned iron frame with the same faded quilt my grandmother used to sew. Exhausted, I lay down and stared at the ceiling, trying to relax. My eyes gradually closed, surrendering to sleep. Then, just as I was drifting off, a sudden loud slam jolted me awake. It sounded like a door slamming, sharp and reverberating through the silence of the night. I convinced myself it must be one of the shutters outside that had been left slightly loose, clapping shut in the night wind. I told myself if it happened again, I'd check it out. But the noise didn't repeat. Then came faint noises, scratching sounds from behind me, soft but deliberate, like nails scrabbling at the wooden paneling. I froze, my heart pounding. I tried to tell myself it was just an animal or the house settling, but it felt too close, too intentional. Panic crept in, and my breath came faster. Suddenly, I felt a cold hand settle on my shoulder. The chill was icy, like touching a block of ice in the dead of winter. I bolted from the bed, my legs almost failing me. I ran out of the bedroom without looking back. I wanted to get out of the house completely, but as I scrambled through the hallway, something pulled me toward the kitchen. Oddly enough, I noticed a dim, warm light glowing softly from the room. The scent hit me first, freshly baked pie, the kind my grandmother used to make. The aroma was so comforting, so familiar, that it wrapped itself around me like a warm blanket on a cold night. Inside the kitchen, a vague shape stood, blurred and flickering, but roughly human-sized. The figure had no distinct features, just an outline blending with the shadows. I didn't want to be afraid. Somehow, I felt calm, even safe. A warmth radiated from that shape, easing my straining nerves. The figure seemed to gesture gently, telling me to leave. The light in the kitchen grew brighter and then spread into the hallway, guiding me back to my room. I obeyed as if entranced. I lay back down, and this time, sleep came quickly and peacefully. I did not wake until dawn, when the creaks and groans of the outside cleared the lingering hush. Later that morning, the movers arrived to empty the house, carrying out years of memories. Back in Paris, as I unpacked and tried to shake off the fog of last night's experience, I kept wondering, was it all a dream? Or was that house truly haunted? And had the comforting presence I felt really been the ghost of my grandmother watching over me? The thought both unsettled and comforted me, a strange mix that I couldn't quite resolve.